Good evening, everybody. Rusty Blackwood here, and I would like to welcome you to my loft on the 30th of December. Tomorrow night is New Year's Eve all around the world, and it's an exciting time for so many people. Myself, I don't go to parties, not anymore. Did that, been there, done that, that type of thing. Um, but I don't anymore. I just spend it quietly and usually watch a movie or do some writing or do some revision on what I have written so far in this upcoming novel, Return to Autumn, that I'm going to be releasing in 2022. And just, sit and just enjoy the time, enjoy the quiet, and possibly have a drink or two and maybe some munchies, something cool to eat, and just see this year out, make sure it goes, and welcome the new year in. Um, there's an old Irish tradition that states at midnight you open your door to usher the old year out and welcome the new year in. And somebody had written, if that's the case, then this year, you should open every door in your house and every window and make sure 2021 actually goes away. I don't know. It hasn't been the best year for so many different reasons and for so many different people um, because, those in the know what's going on and know what everything is about. And so, we're behind it. I'm one of them. And we're behind it with the toe of our boot right up its butt, get going and stay gone. And let us hope that 2022 is going to be a better year in all ways for everybody. And if anybody believes in making New Year's wishes, then that would be mine. I mean, I don't usually make a New Year's wish. Um, I don't know many people who has ever seen their wish actually come to fruition. But I guess it's the joy in doing it and you know waiting each day to see what is going to happen, whether or not that particular day their New Year's wish is actually going to come true. That I don't make a wish. I'm not overly superstitious. I mean, there's only a couple of things that I'm leery of, and, and I make sure I cover my tracks if and when they happen. Um, you know, if you dump salt, throw some over your left shoulder, things like that. Don't walk under a ladder. But I mean, there's certainly common sense behind not walking under a ladder because you don't know whether you're going to get a paint can on your head at any moment or whether you're going to cause somebody that may be on the ladder above you to take a tumble and they land on you, whatever. But I don't believe in, if a black cat crosses your path that, oh my, that's terrible. Um, or if you break a mirror, you're going to have 7 years bad luck. No, I don't go along with all of that. One thing I do believe, though, you should not put shoes on the table. The reasoning behind that was supposed to be if you do that, it means there's going to be a death in your family or you're calling for a death in your family. And I don't know who on earth would be stupid enough to be calling for a death in their family. But that is what they maintain, putting shoes on the table. I had a first cousin. She's passed away now. She was just a beautiful human being. She had the purest soul, I think, of anybody that ever walked this earth. She was my first cousin from my father's twin brother's oldest child, his daughter Eileen, and she swore by that adage, that superstition, you don't put shoes on the table. Um, some people would say they would think the reason that you don't put shoes on the table is because your shoes could be dirty, and you're putting that dirt and whatever else could be there on the soles of your shoes on your table where you're going to eat. But Eileen swore by the superstition that if you did, then you are inviting a death to come into your family. And so I don't know. I don't know if that could ever be proven or not. But I I always make sure I don't put shoes on a table. That's for sure. Whether it's the derogatory side and like the morbid side, or whether it's just for cleanliness, I don't know. But I just don't. And if I see somebody going to do it, I do tell them, please don't put the shoes on the table. I don't explain why. I just ask them, please don't do that. And so tonight, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. This is my New Year's video for my readers and my followers and those who support my work, as well as my friends who follow me. And I've been thinking since I did my Christmas Eve video a week ago tonight of what I would talk about in this video tonight for New Year's. But I didn't come up with any particular subject that I wanted to talk about. Um, just, my usual, just, I guess, sit here and think about whatever is coming to my mind. As in most New Year's videos, or you sit and you recollect the year that we're just coming out of. And I can't report anything in the literary world because nothing's been going on. There's been um, no events, no public events, just online events that my work has been doing, making the rounds on a lot of internet book tours, and having interaction that way, and and trying to get Return to Autumn ready to go to the publisher. I'm almost there. I don't have very much further to go. I'm now in a revision again. I don't know what this one would be. I mean, I've been doing this off and on for quite a while, and I mean, when you write and you write a manuscript, um, when you go back, you see things that you think, oh, well, I can express that better, I can change that, or whatever. And you have to draw the line at some point because, I mean, you could go on and on and on finding problems or finding things that is not going to sit the best with you that you could change. And, but you have to draw the line somewhere so that the book gets finished and you put it out there, and it either swims or it drowns, whatever. But I've enjoyed writing Return to Autumn just as much as I did The Perils of Autumn, and it picks up the story 4 years after The Perils of Autumn, where that one ends, and picks it up 4 years later, and takes you on through the story until you reach the end of the story. And I hope that you're all going to enjoy it. And it won't take you very long to be right back at Landon Lawn Stables and Landon Manor with Cyril and Autumn and Agnes and little Abby and all the delightful things that they do and they get into, as well as all the gorgeous, beautiful horses, Sir Damper Dan and ladies' pal and a couple of the racers that are coming up to be going in the Kentucky Derby and things like that. And so I hope that this novel does even half as well as Perils of Autumn did. Um, I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to um, put it into some of the different competitions that I did. The Perils of Autumn. Um, I'm very proud of the Perils of Autumn, not just because of the awards that it has won, but it's just a wonderful story. Um, as you know, I adore horses. I always have, and to write about them, even though these horses are all fictional, they aren't. These horses do not really exist, um, because it is a fictional story. But um, they are the way that I see stable life, and the way it would be if you worked at a stable, a racing stable, or a riding stable, just any kind of equestrian setting where you're around horses every day. You're working with them and taking care of them and training them and teaching them and riding them and getting the excitement that they can bring you. Um, I spoke in another video quite some time ago about my experience with horses. I used to ride in my youth, and it's been, heaven's sakes, let me see, it's been 17 years since I was last on a horse. And uh, I would still, if I had the chance, I would be on the back of one in an instant, not bat my eye. Um, I love it. I just love it. I love the feel of the horse between my legs and feel the ripple of their muscles as they move along, whether they're just even walking, but definitely when they're galloping, you can just feel the strength um, that you're commanding, and like you're in command of this animal that is doing what you want this animal to do. And the last time I rode was, as I say, 17 years ago now. It was on my eldest granddaughter Carson's 10th birthday, and she wanted to go on a trail ride, and so she invited, let me see, it would have been four of her girlfriends and her mother and me. And we each had a horse, and we went out on the trails and went through a rock quarry. And let me see, that was over on number 3 highway here in Ontario, and over Port Colborne, between Port Colborne and let me see, between Port Colborne and Welland, in that area over there. And there's a stable over there, and I can't recall the name of it now. I think it's called Horseplay. At least I think that's what it was called, was Horseplay. And so um, I'm just taking off a thing that's popped up here on the screen. There, it's gone. And they were all trained horses for trail riding, and it was all Western gear. You weren't riding English tack and things like that, and riding with Western saddles where you have the horn there for people that aren't experienced riding horses, that are at ease with just holding the reins in their hands. Um, they have the horn, which in a working stable or a working ranch, that horn is used for tying rope around. If you're out in the field, you're roping cattle or whatever, calves, things like that, and the horse is trained to, once the calf is roped, to stop and stand still and hold the rope is as taut as what they can, and you wrap the rope around the horn of the saddle, and that is what that is there for. And it can be a nuisance when you're riding. If you like to ride high on a horse's neck, and I mean the saddle is right at the base of the neck where it starts to grow down the back, and it's right at the very front of the saddle. And if you like to ride like forward, if you like to ride sort of high, um, you're forever banging into that horn, and it's not the most pleasant feeling in the world. And so, whereas with English tacked, with English saddles, there's no horn. It's just very little to an English saddle, a jumping saddle, for instance. It's just like the leather that comes in like the form of the saddle on the back, and then a little bit down on the sides and the stirrups down from there. But there's nothing to hang on to. You've got to hang on to the reins, because that's in jumping. That's what you do. You're not hanging on to anything else. And so cheers to the new year. This is cranberry ginger ale, and I just love it. A friend of mine said that it's available year round down in the States. She lives in Pennsylvania, and we were chatting the other day, and I was having some, and I was talking about how much I liked it, and I said, as I recall, this is the only time of the year that you can get it. And she says, oh no, she says, we have it here year round, but I don't recall seeing it here year round. But then again, I haven't been looking, so I'm going to have to make a point to actually look and see if I find it, because just to have it only during the festive season, that's it tastes good. It's not enough, and so hopefully I'll find some. And so anyway, just give me one moment here, and I will be right back. I got to top it up. So hang on, I'll be right back. There, I'm back. There's nothing worse when you're talking on a video than to not have something to sip away at, and or to run out part way through. So anyway, again, cheers. And so anyway, I said returning back to Return to Autumn. Um, I've had a really good time writing this story, and taking my readers through to the end of this story that has been in my head for a very long time. And that's why I said that when I was writing The Perils of Autumn, and I was nearing the end of it, I decided that I was going to write a follow-up, so that I didn't end up turning The Perils of Autumn into another grand scale novel like Passions in Paris, Revelations of a Lost Diary turned out to be. And I didn't want to do that again, because it just made too large a book and a little too heavy for people that like to hold a paper book back or a hardback in their hands, as opposed to, a Kindle or something like that. And I didn't want to do that. And so I wanted to make sure that it wasn't an encumbrance for anybody that wants to read the old-fashioned way. And so anyway, as I say, when I was getting to the end of The Perils of Autumn, there was more that I wanted to say, and a couple more characters that I wanted to introduce into the story. And of course, I didn't put any tie-ups into the end of The Perils of Autumn. So anybody that is interested in dear old Duff Taylor, the exclusive jockey for Land and Lawn Stables, and all of the stuff that he gets into. And of course, there's no tie-ups at the end to bring him to justice, or to make him toe the line. And so you will find all that out in Return to Autumn. And And so, and I hope that you will be satisfied with what happens to Dear Duff. I'm not going to say any more than that because, of course, you're going to have to, you're going to have to read the book to find out what happens to Dear Duff. And so, anyway, I'm looking forward to bringing that novel out, and I'm looking at maybe a mid-spring release. I can't say when, that's why I won't say a release date yet that it will be coming out, but I'm going to look for mid-spring, mid to late spring to have it come out. And usually the publishing process from the time you submit it to the publisher, it usually takes mm, depending on how the revisions go, if I mean the editing is finished when I submit it, and I do my own editing. I have a fantastic editing program, and I've learned over the years. I've learned so much about editing a manuscript and in knowing how to do it. And of course, I have it proofread by another pair of eyes. And so if there is any issue, I find it before I submit it. But the process itself usually takes, the better part of 2 months, maybe three, just depending on how well it goes. And and then, then you release it. And the way that things have been going with the bookstores, local bookstores here, and I think it is general everywhere, they're not doing anything. They're not anybody that's releasing new books. And I think this even goes for those who are using standard houses to publish their work. Um, I think that even it's the same for them. I can't say this for sure, but I think so. And but for myself and the local authors in the Niagara area, um, you put a new book out and you can't go around in person and promote it. And so I mean the bookstores will take it in for a certain period of time. And all I can do is make sure that those in my area know that the book is there if they want to go and get a copy. Otherwise, they're going to have to get it online like anybody else, and I will make sure that it's well promoted online and get it, on the same rounds as my other novels are. And it's kind of disappointing in a way. You put a book out, you look forward to that because there's a lot of work goes into writing a book. You don't just sit down and within a month um, it's published and out there. And maybe that's possible if you have two or three assistants that are helping you and they're you know is putting it all together as quickly as you can write it. But I have read books that have come out like they're on an assembly line, and that's exactly the finished process or product. That's exactly the way they read. And that's not me. That's not the way that I work or I do my novels. And so I usually like to have um, my goal was to put one novel a year out, but I found out that was unrealistic. It's just, that's just rushing. You have no life whatsoever if you're putting a novel a year out. Um, Maybe small, like comedy shorts like Durwood Tugbottom, definitely I could do one or two of them a year, easily. But the big novels that I do, the romantic dramas that I do, there's no way. So I usually look at every 2 years or so bringing a novel out. And this is going to be 3 years since I did The Perils of Autumn. It was released in January of 2019. So it's been, excuse me, it will be 3 years, well over 3 years by the time Return to Autumn comes out. But, you know, no bother. That's just the way it is, and there's no need in fretting about what you can't change, and being able to leave the past in the past, and concentrate on the future and doing the best you can. Um, and so, other than that, I mean, this past year has, I've had a great time with my little great grandsons, and spending time with them as much as I possibly can. I mean, they grow up so fast. I mean, I can well remember my own children, my own two sons, at that age, at that size, and looking back all over all those years, it doesn't seem like it's that many years since they were these interesting, fascinating, entertaining little boys that used to keep me hopping constantly. And so, and I spent a lot of time with my own grandchildren when they were little, and so I'm certainly not missing out with my great grandsons. And looking forward to a new great grandbaby in the spring, in early April. And don't know yet whether I'm having a great granddaughter or another great grandson. But either way, I can't wait. This child is going to be so welcome into such a family of that will love and cherish this child just as much as we do all of our children. And so, and I've made, a great friend, and one that sometimes it's up and it's down, and it's but regardless, I've learned a lot. He's taught me a lot, and helped me too in the way that I view politics, um, and what it's all about, and helped me to see the light there, what's going on, and the way it works, and so I really changed my entire outlook towards it, and the process of it, and what goes on within it. And so we are going into an election year this coming spring in Ontario here, and I will admit, I'd be the first to admit that I was so fooled before. And that's not going to happen this time. No way is it going to happen this time. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to even campaigning for um, the Libertarian Party, and volunteering however I can, because I do feel that they are what's needed. They're common sense, and they're like grassroots conservatives once were, and that's what we need, a revival of that so badly. And so this is what's in my plans also for the spring, and we will see. I will see. Um, I am, you know, if we go into another lockdown, which they're talking about doing, I mean, I haven't complied from day one, and not once I knew really what it was and what was going on, um, I no longer complied with any of it. Um, I mean, I try to live within the law too, and I certainly don't encourage anybody to break the law. But I'm talking about the law, not these ridiculous mandates, because they're no more than a suggestion. And I will not get on my knees or bend down for nonsense like this. I didn't from the beginning, and I'm not going to. No way am I going to give into it now. And so I just advise all of you to please inform yourselves. Turn the TV off. Turn the propaganda news off. That is 24/7, and inform yourselves, and you will see things so differently if you do. And and I wish each of you a very healthy 2022. Um, I hope that whatever you are striving for, um, you reach it, and that the year will be good to all of you. Um, I wish you the best of health. I wish you prosperity. I wish you new friendships, and I wish you, for those friends that you've had, old friends are the best. They're true. They're always there for you. And if even if you live miles and miles and miles apart, you're still together here, like you always were. So, get in touch with them. Call them on the phone, text them. If you can, try to meet them in person somewhere, even if you have to meet halfway or whatever. And don't lose track of those that mean so much to you. However you know them, um, you know, if you've had grievances in the past, like I have, with a very good friend that was once one of my very best friends. Um, you know, she and I, our views are a little different. We don't see eye to eye on some things, but that is still no reason to lose all the years of the close friendship that we both shared. And we have so much in common. And we both love music, and we're both very artistic people. And she contacted me again a couple of years ago, and we sort of corresponded again for a while, and then we lost touch. And I'm going to make it a point in the new year to get in touch with her and see if we, can pick up and carry on from when we were last together. To me, it's important. Um, Neither the two of us are no young spring chicks anymore, and I think that it is important to have that closeness and be able to spend some time together. And my oldest friend of all, my dear Diane, who lives in Prince Edward Island, has since, oh heaven's sakes, what, 1969, I believe now. I've been out there a couple of times and spent time with her and on the island, and her. We grew up side by side. We went through school together. We just spent so much time together, and we were. I think we were closer than even sisters could be. And I think of her often. I know she does. She does with me too. So, Diane, I love you from Corky, and I'm going to contact you soon if you don't contact me before then. And and my dear cousin Evie, um, she is the youngest daughter of my dad's twin brother, and she's like a sister to me. I love her with all my heart, and we face chat all the time, and she dishes the dirt on everybody back home, and y'all know that I'm teasing here. Um, but it's a great way to keep in touch and keep in touch with everybody that I don't get to see very often. And so, and also, I'm going to make it a point um, tomorrow to call my brother Rick and you know, give him my love and have a nice little nosh again, a nice little talk. And we don't get to do that near enough. And it's been well over 2 years since we've seen each other in person. And he doesn't have internet, so I can't face chat with him. So telephone is the next best thing, and a landline at that, not a cell phone. And so anyway, I see that I'm now almost to the 35-minute mark, and so I'm going to close this video, and for what it's worth, what I've spoken about or whatever, I don't know how much of a New Year's video one could consider it, but it is what it is, and whatever it is, when I talk about something, I talk about it as honestly as I possibly can, and and you can take it for what you want. It is what it is. And so I'm going to wish each of you a really happy and celebrated New Year's. Have lots of fun. If you do drink, please don't drive. Drink responsibly, and enjoy yourselves however you choose to celebrate this rotten year leaving, and hopefully a much better one coming. Um, I wish you all the best of health, and please, um, remember remember Jesus and follow him. It's the best possible thing that you can do. And if you've been away from him, please return to him, because he is the way through all of this. And remember, he's watching. God is watching every move these degenerates are making. And in the end, he will have the final say. And so I'm going to wish God's blessings to each of you. And I'll be back soon with a new video. Um, you know, I don't like to go too long in between my videos, because really, as I've said before, without being able to do any literary events or anything, this is all I have to keep in touch with all of you. And I hope that you will, talk to me and correspond with me. Visit my website, rusty-blackwood.com, and from there you can get links to all my different media sites. And so please like this video, please comment it if you would, share it on if you would, and please subscribe to my channel and help me to grow the number following it. So for now, I'm going to wish you all a very happy new year, a very delightful new year. Make it your best. It will be what you make it. And take care of yourselves. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.